Hello everybody, this is JP3 here bringing you the 7th installment in our Halo Combat Evolved Legendary playthrough with, well, mission number 7, the library. Oh, the dreaded library. Ooh, this one's supposed to be really scary. Many people think it's the most difficult level in the entirety of the Halo franchise. Poppycock, I say, child's play compared to what you'll be dealing with in mission number 8 and mission number 9, especially if you don't speedrun mission number 9. So I'm going to try my best to help you understand why this level, while certainly a challenge, is not going to be the hardest level in the history of Halo, or the hardest level in this campaign even. I don't think so. Alright, I'm going to try my best to get a plasma weapon as soon as possible. The assault rifle is fine against the infection forms, but because of the size of these hallways and these very long range combat scenarios that you're going to want to find yourself in, because you're wanting to avoid chain explosions at all costs, that is by far the biggest thing that you need to worry about. That's when something explodes and causes grenades that have been lying around to explode in a chain, and it's very, very nightmarish in Combat Evolved. And so that's your biggest concern, your biggest worry. The reason why I like the plasma weapons whenever I don't have the pistol or the shotgun just yet, or maybe whenever I'm just wanting to wipe out a bunch of infection forms, I like them because they have much more range generally than the assault rifle. So we get lucky there and get a shotgun early. It's not so much luck that we got a shotgun early, rather it's that we got lucky that carrier explosion back there didn't send it flying and sailing into some sort of part of the geometry that we wouldn't be able to access. The shotgun seems to be the lightest weapon because of its ability to fly such great distances when you certainly don't want it to. That grenade right there, it moved whenever that explosion occurred. It moved it, but the radius wasn't enough, I guess, to explode it. It was enough to move it, but not explode it. I don't know if you saw it on the ground there. Anyway, I'll stop talking out of my butt and continue on forth here. So these vents here will spawn 5 flood waves. The first one that exists, and then 4 that come after that. I've found that unless, of course, you're a speedrunner, I believe that the best thing to do here is just to fight this out. Because if you don't fight it out, then the group that will come behind you as you're trying to leave here will be pretty annoying to have to deal with, along with also dealing with the groups that are going to be outside of here. Plus, you usually can get a nice, decent amount of shotgun and or pistol ammunition coming away from those battles. So there's always going to be one flood dude, one troll on one of the sides there that's waiting for you. I didn't anticipate the correct side, unfortunately, but that doesn't really matter. I came out ready to fight whoever was going to be near me and be punching me like that. But again, it really doesn't matter. Ultimately, they're going to be coming from both sides, so just head on a swivel, baby. Head on a swivel. This dude always jumps down there, and then you're going to have some dudes come out of the vents, but also they're coming really from around the corners that are to your right. The vent dudes don't come out until a little bit later, those kind of full vent spawns. So don't run out there thinking that you're only going to deal with them from the vents. They're actually coming from the right around those pillars as well. So be sure and stay away from chain explosions. Stay away from any potential hallways there where it can all the damage could be compacted. Now, there's going to be, this thing spawns for quite a bit. I go in a very strategic fashion, for very strategic purposes, to this corner. The reason why I go to this corner is because I'm not spawning the guys that are kind of behind me and to my left yet, but I'm stopping this group from spawning out of these vents. Now, this does not end that vent spawn. It does not end that spawn. If you go back too close to those vents, you'll see another group come out. So try to stay close to these 2 pillars. I'm just going to call those things pillars. I don't know what to really call them, so I'm just going to call them pillars. If you throw a grenade at that guy, the shotgun will usually come to you. So that's why I threw a grenade at him. He always has a shotgun. Notice how I'm keeping these guys at bay as best I can without backtracking too much. So when I do need to, I go to the sides of the pillars. I want to kill these guys before they come up here and set off any chain explosions. Now that group we just dealt with, as you can tell, it's only one spawn. That's the good news there. So as soon as you kill most or all of them, move on up, kill that guy who was sitting on that pillar there. He always has an assault rifle, so just take him out. He can whittle your shields down pretty fast if you ignore him. Then I'm just, doing a little bit of housekeeping there. You do need to go up to Guilty Spark at that door to get him to start his process wherein he goes away and does whatever and then comes back. So go next right up close to him as soon as you kill the guy with the assault rifle that's on the pillar, and then go back and take care of any infection forms that might still be around. Here you get a group that comes out from that vent. I think it's 3 or 4 kind of like you just saw, and then you get 2 or 3 that come around that pillar there. Not a big deal as long as you stay back and don't let chain explosions become a part of your nightmare as you're completing this level. Now, the best thing to do after you kill them is to beeline. If you stay back and hang back, then you'll see more spawns come from vents. Now here's one of these hallways. The best thing to do with these hallways is to run past it all. Run past it all, blasting your way through anything that falls. For this particular hallway, you come to this corner. Do not go any further left, and try to stay back far enough so you're not at risk of being involved in any chain explosions or any double or triple shotgun spawns that may come around that corner. See how that explosion worked there? You don't want to have any part of that. It will damage the crap out of you. So the reason why I said to stay in that corner and not go any further is because if you go any further down this hallway, you're going to activate these 2 spawns. Both spawns come out. One spawn comes out of this vent. One spawn comes out of that vent. I usually do the plasma grenade and then the frag grenade. I didn't throw the frag grenade perfectly so it didn't kill everything, but normally that's what I do there. And the main reason I do the plasma frag combo is because I want to conserve frag grenades. I want to at least have 1 frag grenade for the last part of this floor. Just to explain there's 4 floors in the library, and so the first floor, in my opinion, is probably the hardest. I would say that's probably true. The only exception may be the final floor, but the only reason I would say that is true is because on the first floor, you're less likely during certain sections of it to feel, I guess, full enough on either your pistol or your shotgun. I don't really have a ton of problems with ammo in this level throughout it, but I tend to feel a lot more comfortable going up to the second floor and the third floor where just the gameplay seems a little bit easier, and I'll explain it as we go along. It's ultimately not important. Grab that overshield, throw a grenade over there. That's 1 frag you want to save for that group. Then you want to take a plasma grenade and throw it on that arrow. Let them die. Jump on this pillar and jump over here, turn around, throw plasmas, not frags, because you want to keep frags for this last group here we'll see. Same thing there. You saw how I ran up the pillar to avoid the carrier forms. Now this is a big group. You want to definitely have a frag for them. I turn around to check and make sure nothing's coming. We got 1 guy left, but we kill him. We take his shotgun ammunition. We skirt a potentially fatal situation with a carrier form exploding where a whole bunch of combat forms just died. And now we're on the elevator, and we're done with floor 1. I do not, in any way, shape, or form, hate this level at all. I actually think it's a really fun level. It mixes up the combat from the way it was for the past, at least the first 5 levels, and I like that about it. I like the fact that this game switched so drastically in terms of how you played it and how the combat worked. And so when I first played the library, I remember it being extremely hard. But after a while, I came to really respect it. And even though I wouldn't say it's one of the great Halo missions, don't get me wrong, it is really a fun mission to play. And there's a lot of really cool strategy to it, whether you're running it casual, whether you're speed running, or whether you're trying to kill every single flood spawn, exhaust every single flood spawn that could possibly occur. So Anyway, so here I like to get the monitor to do his thing, which you have to walk up to a certain point where that will occur. Then I like to come back. The reason why I like to come back is because if you stay over there, the combat gets really, really frantic and close quarters with carrier forms and combat forms, some of which can have shotguns. Your biggest, that was a fail, your biggest fear in this game, or in this level, is going to be, as I've said, chain explosions, shotgun flood, especially double or triple shotgun flood at the same time, and I would say after that, I would say just getting trapped in a position where you don't have a lot of movement ability there, and this is, all three can occur here. All three can screw you there. So on the second floor, we have a lot of these really long hallways. They aren't really all that hard, because now we should have a pretty decent pistol in terms of its ammo, how much ammunition you have for it. You should be pretty decent on your grenades. As you notice back there by the health pack, there was a grenade drop. And so, for the most part, also, because the sentinels are here, you can rely on them to help you out with any stray carrier or infection forms. And so these hallways really aren't that difficult. And since they're such a big part of the second floor, I would say that's why the second floor is you know, it's not a cakewalk or anything, don't get me wrong, but it's a heck of a lot easier than the first floor. So just throw a grenade back there. They all kind of stare at it for a little bit, then start using the remaining carrier forms as grenades. Unfortunately, we got a lot of carrier forms there without a lot of the combat forms having made their way out. Right now, when I'm shooting them, I'm not actually trying to kill them per se. While that would be nice, what I'm doing is I'm shooting at weapon arms. The reason I'm shooting at weapon arms is because while there's certainly no guarantee that I'll kill them from back there with the pistol, especially when I'm shooting into that big of a group, there is a pretty strong chance, though, that I can neuter them quite a bit with those types of shots. Now, this is your first rocket launcher flood of the entire game. Stay out in the open and keep your eyes peeled, and you'll dodge the rocket. As soon as the rocket launcher guy identifies himself with a shot, or if you can tell who it is from afar with your eyeballs, start shooting his weapon arm. Watch for these guys. They'll jump up and then come back down. If you're where they are when they're coming back down, they will try to slap you, and that can make things pretty nasty pretty fast if you got a couple of them slapping at you and then you got one shooting at you and so on and so forth. But the main fear there is the rocket launcher flood. Be sure and just keep your eyes peeled. Be out in the open. Don't run backwards. Run to the side. The rocket doesn't track. Now, I'm only picking this up just to do a little bit of housekeeping here against some infection forms that will be spawning into this area that aren't a big concern or fear. Another example of a time where you have to walk up to the freaking monitor to get him to get the door crap going. Should have done that and then started policing, because this is trivial here. There's a handful of infection forms fall from the ceiling over there. Not over there, over there. See them? And then some come from the door whenever it opens. I use the shotgun to take, or excuse me, the rocket launcher to take care of them, just to conserve ammo. No big deal here. And I'm certainly not concerned with conserving rocket launcher ammunition. I have never had success rolling with the rocket launcher in this level as any sort of major, with any sort of major strategic, I guess, thing in mind. There's just not enough ammunition for it. And that's a good thing in a way. It means there's less rocket flood to have to deal with. There is a know of at least one rocket ammunition drop in the level, but again, not enough to justify rolling with it over these two weapons that I have here. So that is always going to be a group of 5 that are going to come out there. They usually have it's usually a double, triple shotgun type group, so you definitely want to make sure and take care of them before they come around that corner. And a frag grenade will usually do the trick. This is another part, or another element of this level that's prominent on the second, third, and maybe the fourth floor. I don't know why I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure you have underground sections on the third, on all 3 of the topmost floors. The underground sections, these underground tunnels here, are actually fairly easy for the most part. Coming out of them sometimes, or coming around corners sometimes, however, can be a little bit trolly. This is the hardest one to come out of. because all of the enemies that come out here all are scripted to immediately appear around the sides there, as you saw, and they all have nasty weapons. And they start firing them immediately. It's the only time where you're coming out of one of these areas where the enemies are just right there ready to shoot at you. And so this is one where, unless you're a speedrunner extraordinaire, and even they struggle with surviving this part, you may want to stay back and just kill everything before you move forward. Sometimes grenades help. In this case it didn't, because I stuck the guy unintentionally. Again, not that hard of a part unless you rush it. Once you come out of here, you may deal with a spare carrier form or two, but no big deal. This is actually one of the easier hallways to run and not have to deal with too many issues. It's not that hard at all. Now, we've got an assault rifle guy behind us. We've got a needle rifle person, so this is actually pretty risky. It's funny I say that, but it's really usually not that hard. We just kind of got a bad combination there, but no big deal. There is a rocket launcher flood at the end of that hallway. As long as you don't cross that pillar, the one to the right, as long as you don't cross that and start moving forward, he will not shoot at you. And right now we actually got really fortunate. I focused on the carrier forms. One of them must have went back there and exploded and killed the guy. So we didn't even see him fire one rocket at us, nor did we have to shoot him down. So do not cross over past that pillar just yet. Just wait, pick up the rocket launcher, and take out these little infection forms. We don't really want them hassling us. Terrible rocket there. The reason why is because I tried to do a jump shot, and I hit that freaking geometry, that useless geometry over there, and it just made it to where I shot it short. Alright, so just again to conserve ammo, not a big deal here. You're going to have a flood jump right there, and you're going to have flood coming around corners. I'm going to try to get most of them with that rocket, and I actually got really fortunate and did kill them. That being said, you need to go ahead and put it down as soon as possible. There's going through here, you really want to have your shotgun and pistol. The map is going to look really red and really nasty at some point, the mini-map. Just keep going. It's not scary at all. I promise this time it's not scary. And this hallway here, no flood spawn for it. Here you have I think it's like 3 combat forms that come out. Don't worry about them either. Just beeline towards the elevator entrance. You can turn around if you like and just shoot them. I don't even know if you have any shotgun guys that come out there, so really not that big of a deal. No carrier forms to explode and cause chain explosions, so... Now we're through the second floor. I told you it was easier. I told you it was a little bit easier than that first floor. The third floor, as long as you know what to do and where to be and where not to be, it's really easy too. Easy compared to the first floor. Easy compared to the first floor at least. Alright, so here we're going to be going underground again. We just got no spawning guys here at all. We just got a handful hanging around this pillar here. Some of them standing up there. I like to shoot them from range. Usually they won't shoot too much at you from back there, as long as you keep your distance. And again, shooting weapon arms or shooting to kill, whichever one. Come up here. There's a health back here. I'm looking for pistol ammunition as well. Got that shotgun. Another sticky there. Pretty nice. Don't see anything over here. Let's keep going forward. Now, once we turn the corner here, we're going to see a big group of flood. Well, kind of big group of flood at the very end. If you're skilled at it, feel free to try to throw a grenade over there before you get too close and they start running. My skill on throwing that grenade at just that right height to not short it is not developed. So I just throw a grenade over there for the heck of it, but ultimately it's really not important. The only thing important here is that you don't let that group get too close to you, because usually, if not always, I think there's always a shotgun guy in the midst of it. Now this is a troll corner, and I kind of sort of forget just how trolly it can be. That one explodes just close enough to get me beeping, and beeping is no good, of course, because these little infection guys are bastards whenever your shields are down. This part here, the sentinels actually come to help out, so it's not a bad part at all to rush. I usually don't beat that shotgun guy. He's always a shotgun guy, always a human combat form. I usually don't beat him out that fast. Usually he drops as I'm coming out and I shoot him. That time I was somehow a little too fast for him. So anyway, Now, at this part, we run past all that junk over there. The Sentinels kill all those guys. Don't worry about it. At least in my head canon, they do that. Here, this is actually kind of a partially perilous part. And the reason why is because, you know, it takes the monitor a while to get that door open, and during that phase, you get a lot of spawns. That chain explosion there is a great example. I hate it because I was so far back from it, but it's a chain. It's called a chain explosion for a reason. It chained at least 2 or 3 grenades deep there to cause that kind of damage to me. So, really through no fault of our own, because you can't stay back from them. You can't stay so far back that you can guarantee yourself never to be the victim of it. So, so that's why, again, I say, you know, watch out for them as best you can, but ultimately you can only do so much. So what I tend to do here, out of frustration, I'm just like, get the hell away from me. So what I tend to do here is I just tend to keep spawning them in and then going backwards. It's the first group that's the hardest. It tends to have the most combat forms with it. As far as I know, the second and third and maybe fourth group, I lost count there, they're going to have mostly carrier forms, which makes them dangerous for chain explosions, but not necessarily dangerous for, you know, shooting you from afar or whittling you down with a plasma weapon or a needler or an assault rifle or shotgunning you to death. So again, third floor so far, even though we took our greatest amount of damage there, again, not really that hard if you know what you're doing. So here's another rocket launcher guy in another long hallway. Stay in the middle. Don't get too close to the boxes in the back or the pillars up front. Notice how there we just kept moving. He's not going to track you with that shot. The rocket's not going to track, nor is he going to try to lead you or anything like that. So if you just keep moving to the side, you'll either kill him first, or, you know, before he shoots it, or you'll have it, like I threw that grenade down there, but he still got the shot off, or you'll, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. It doesn't really matter. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to keep those carrier forms away from those grenades over there that I want to get, or at least I don't want them to chain explode. And there's a pistol over there too, so that was the whole reason I was kind of getting discombobulated, but also taking my time to lead those carrier forms away from those grenades that I did want to pick up. Now, I'm only picking up the rocket launcher here again to kind of conserve ammo, and kind of in the hopes that somehow, some way, I'll actually get a nice multi-kill there, but it doesn't happen. Partly because of my skill with the rocket launcher there is just not being overly strong in that scenario. You don't always find the rocket launcher because I'm usually grenading that guy, so when I saw it there, I said, hey, I'll pick it up, but I'm not used to making that shot, and I've never claimed to be skilled with the rocket launcher anyway. That group does not have a rocket launcher flood. It's only one group, and then this group spawns in kind of a cute scripted way, coming through the door that we're going to be going through and then jumping up on those pillars. Again, it's only one spawn. This isn't some infinite spawning kind of thing going on here. We don't do a great job of killing them in big groups for whatever reason. Well, I'm starting to get a little low on ammo until now. That guy dropped me a shotgun. But yeah, ultimately, again, not the hardest part here. We've got a lot of room here to work with, and if you, unless you take, you know, a lot of big risk here, you should be able to get through pretty safely, and hopefully with a pretty good amount of ammunition for your weapons. So right now you're going to see a group of 3 guys spawn here. I think 2 of them are always going to be shotgun guys, and there's going to be a couple come around that corner. If you throw the grenade too early like I just did, then your best bet, even if you don't throw it early, is still to get right behind this pillar here and just let them feed to you like they were there. Essentially letting them feed to you one at a time. Alright, so this is a hell of a run here. We're going to run 2 hallways as fast as we can. The first one isn't as bad as the second one. You're not supposed to turn around. But I hear a needler, so I turn around a couple different times. But actually, again, we didn't face a whole lot of crap there. Just the needler was really the scariest part. Just keep running, keep running, keep running. The needler guy is still freaking behind me. Get through this door. No need to waste a grenade there. Once you're over here, you can just take them around this pillar like I showed you earlier. Alright, so at this part, this is where Bungie locks you into a room and has you fight wave after wave of flood. There's something that's kind of cool though, and people have known this for a very, very long time that have played this game, is that if you sit in this corner and the flood that are coming out of those vents never see you, you never get attacked. This is not an exploit in my opinion. The reason why I do this is because it's simple math, or, you know, in a lot of ways. I mean, if you kill a spawn of flood, another group will spawn. If you kill another spawn, if you kill that spawn, then they'll just keep spawning every time you wipe out a spawn of flood. It's like 4 or 5 of them, I think, at a time. It can be shotgun flood, double, triple shotgun flood. There's the possibility of chain explosions, especially if you get desperate and start throwing grenades. It's really a nasty environment to be in because of chain explosions, more so than anything else. But also, again, double, triple shotgun, guys, it's no fun at all. You can play it and risk it, and the best way to do that would be to stay in this corner. I'm sorry, not in this corner. Stay right here next to the pillar and just let them feed around one at a time. But it doesn't always work as neatly as you'd want it to because of the way the spawns are happening one after the other. And so what I do instead, just like anyone who plays the library, you're going to skip all those quasi-infinite spawns. Well, this is just another one of them that I skip. I'll kill one of the spawns, though, right now. But ultimately, I don't think that, especially on Legendary difficulty, that it was really all that well planned out. Again, it's not necessarily hard to survive, but, you know, you're already, you know, mostly through the mission and having to deal with the possibility of being chain exploded there. I don't think so. So, slow it up big time down that hall, because as you saw there, you get a big giant group. Make sure you have a frag grenade for that group. Sometimes you can even get a killionaire if you throw the grenade maybe perhaps a little bit better or a little bit later on, if you draw them out a little bit further. But yeah, so I mean, I know that looks cheap and it looks cowardly, but in all reality, it's just the chain explosions just aren't fair in this game, and inevitably you will get behind, whether it's due to needing to reload or whatever it might be, and you'll want to use a grenade, and you know, it's just really, really hard to guarantee survival. It's not impossible, and I probably should have done it just to show you how it works around that, using that pillar, but ultimately I felt like that was the best bet, is to show you the easiest way to do it without feeling too cheap, because again, if you're playing the library, you're probably going to spend a lot of time running past infinite spawns. Well, in that case, we just stood there. We didn't run past it, we just stood there until the monitor got done with what he was doing. This is a hallway you want to run through. It can be challenging, but you just keep running, and what will ultimately happen is that won't infinitely spawn anymore. I don't think any spawn in this level is actually infinite, but I think that the spawns on Legendary difficulty go about 9 waves deep. I think that's the most you'll see in some of those halls and some of those places. And so you know, again, it feels infinite, but ultimately it's probably not. So this is another area where we're going to go underground again. Here, it's going to be all carrier and infection forms, which makes it kind of trolly potentially, but not necessarily an overly dangerous area because there are no grenades around to chain explode. These bio-splosions, or whatever you want to call them, really aren't that bad unless you're really close to the explosion. It's when you add grenades into the mix when they become really dangerous. I'm not sure how they set off grenades with those explosions. So this is another one where you could sit in this corner and wait it out, and they probably wouldn't even notice you. I don't really like to do that here. It's really not necessary, and I don't feel nearly as I wouldn't feel nearly as good about doing it here because this is totally doable. Guilty Spark is not coming out. Is not going to take an inordinate amount of time here. Also, they're not going to be coming out of the vents nearly as rapidly or in such as bigger groups. It's usually about one at a time out of each vent. This is a free hallway. This one, not so much. But all that red on the minimap is all carrier forms, which can be scary, again, if there's grenades around to chain explode. But if there aren't, then the only thing you really have to worry about is just making sure that, you know, when you're killing these carrier forms, that when they explode each other, so to speak, they're not, you know, throwing themselves into you. Now, this is where combat is the hairiest. This is why I say maybe the 4th floor could be the most difficult, because the combat here is very hairy. Right here, I get shocked and surprised by a flood shotgunner that comes around that corner. They do not usually slow around that corner the way he did. They usually all come out in one group, but I thought I had killed them all or they were all done, and so I went to try to collect some ammunition there and got my ass handed to me and almost died. I hate, this is the worst, this is the hardest fights of the game, is right through here, because we are nearing the end. We are at the finale, or very, very close to it here. There's no health, not that I'm aware of at least. I'm pretty sure there's none down there. I would have definitely knew it and grabbed it. The only problem we have here, and this is very unusual for me, is that I have no grenades. And this is a place where you really would like to have some grenades. They're going to come to a predetermined spot, jumping out of that hole there. You want to have a grenade to blow them up. And then there's going to be a lot of combat forms parked out that door. You want to have a grenade for them as well. It is nasty. These guys all have weapons. They all fire them very, very aggressively. You definitely want their attention. You don't want to deal with them over there. You want to deal with them over here, though. So that's why I shot the shotgun at him, even though I didn't think that was necessarily going to get a kill. I wanted them to come around my corner here, to where they would come around in much more of a single file line approach. Alright, so yeah, I mean, it's so ridiculous. We kill all those guys and not one of them drops a grenade. I guarantee if there was a carrier form around here, they'd drop grenades all over the place. But no grenades until we get one right there. And this is not the grenade you want for that part. Notice how quickly they noticed me there and or at least one of them started shooting at me. So this is, again, another really nasty group trying to shoot off whip arms, or gun arms, mainly gun arms, some whip arms if possible. That way, when I get them coming around this corner, I don't have to be overly worried about being shot to death. Especially by a shotgun. And notice how the carrier forms are all providing, I don't know if I should have mentioned this earlier, the carrier forms provide somewhat of a biological shield for them. Right now I'm trying not to shoot him around where all those guys have fell, and of course they all drop grenades. Sorry for yelling there, but you know, they all drop grenades, again, because the carrier form was there. But anyway, no more bitching. I haven't bitched at all so far, so I'm not going to start now. Definitely make sure you have a pistol for this part. This is the finale here. Shoot that guy down. Shotgun these dudes. Shotgun the guy that's going to come around this corner. Shotgun anyone that's close by there. And then with these dudes, you want to throw a grenade. Hopefully you have one. And we get a great, for a plasma grenade, that was exactly what we needed to see. Now, the way to end this stage, of course, most commonly is to just keep going by all those boxes and those square rectangle things. Don't do that. There's a, like, again, 9 deep flood spawn by there. If you go this way, the long way around, however, you avoid that ridiculous spawn, which is nasty. Again, 5-10 guys all shooting. You got some shotgun folks. You got people coming kind of more from your immediate right, and then coming from around the pillar that's over there by where the level ends, kind of straight across from us. Really nasty stuff. Nothing nasty over here though, except for that skull over there. I think that's the black eyes. No, that's the that stupid skull where you don't get any aim assist. Well, if anybody wants to hear the end of this, is a quote-unquote mandatory cutscene. I don't think I'm going to cut it out, so I guess I'll shut up and let you guys listen to it. Your reward for completing this pretty difficult level. Natchez.
Protocol requires that I take possession of
Left hand, give it up.
Your organic food renders you vulnerable to infection. The index must not fall into the hands of the flood before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The flood is spreading. We must hurry.
All right. Well, that is it. That is the end of the library. I didn't mean to insult anybody earlier when I said that this was child's play. If you're really having trouble with the library, if you're really struggling with completing this level on legendary difficulty and you want some help, I swear to God, just leave questions in the comments. I will answer them. No judgment at all. I do remember this is a very difficult level until you get a feel for it. It really can be. So please leave comments, negative feedback, positive feedback. If you just want to talk about how much you hate or love this level, or how much easier it is than everyone says, or how much harder it is than I'm saying, please express yourself down there. If you like this kind of content, please hit that thumbs up button. And of course, subscribe to support me in my efforts. You'll get a lot more if you subscribe. That'll give me more, I guess, motivation to do this outside of my normal time. And please don't forget to hit the notifications bell if you haven't already. That way you'll be alerted whenever I've got a brand new video that's hot off the presses, fresh off the assembly line, right out of the gate. As for now, this is JP3 signing out. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you very, 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 very much for watching. Goodbye.